by this group of men to come back.
USA on one. USA!
Third gold in a row. Rio, Tokyo, and now Paris.
Coming to you from the Olympic City, Colorado Springs, Colorado, this is the USA Volleyball Show. And here's your host, Stephen Munson.
Hello and welcome to the USA Volleyball Show, the official podcast of USA Volleyball. I am your host, Stephen Munson, and I'm excited to bring another great episode, another great conversation with an incredible athlete and person, four-time Paralympic medalist, Kaleo Kanahele Maclay from the U.S. Women's Sitting National Team. But before we get to that, if you haven't already listened to our last episode, we talked to Elena Scott and Ajani Teeler from the Indy Ignite of Major League Volleyball, that's MLV. A great in-depth conversation with those two about their volleyball journeys, including why they chose to pursue their pro careers in the U.S. versus going overseas. They also touch on just the incredible fan base that has just really rallied behind the Indy Ignite, including a fun story with a super fan that has an Elena Scott tattoo. But that's as much as I'll tell you about that. You got to go back and listen to the full episode to get that story. All that and more in episode 140, available wherever you get your podcast. But back to this week's episode, as I said at the top, but I'll say it again, four-time Paralympic medalist Kaleo Kanahele Maclay joined us at the podcast stage at the AVCA Convention back in December. It's always such a joy to catch up with Kaleo. So very thankful that she had the time in her schedule and made space for us to sit down and talk on the podcast with us at the AVCA Convention. In the conversation, Kaleo talks about just her experiences with the U.S. Women's Sitting National Team, where the program is at now, goals for the team after capturing not one, not two, but the last three Paralympic golds at the Paralympic Games. So much more in the conversation to go, but let's get right into it. Here is Kaleo. Hello and welcome to the USA Volleyball Show, the official podcast of USA Volleyball. My name is Stephen Munson, and we're here at the 2025 AVCA Convention, joined by a very special guest who we haven't talked to on the pod in a long time, I think since one of our very first episodes right before Tokyo. But Kaleo Kanahele Maclay, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Yeah, thanks for having me on again. It's been a long time, but
it has been a long
I think
time.
we said 2 medals since.
2 medals since. I mean, we have to bring you back for that alone, right?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, how have you been in 2 medals prior?
Good. I mean, a lot has changed. So I have 2 kids now. So I have
say medals and kids have
medals and
happened
kids.
since,
2 medals, 2 kids.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I had Duke the last time, but I have Kai and he's 3, and then Duke is 8, and then we got 2 more golds under our belt, which doesn't feel real, but yeah.
That's awesome. I guess it's just been like a whirlwind. I think this last year or so, you've been a little bit away from the team a little bit, but what's it been like to kind of like see the team have so much success, especially all these young athletes coming in that have been in the pipeline for a while, but now kind of stepping up on that bigger stage?
Yeah, one of my favorite things of our team has always been like how deep the team is, and really the versatility. And we know going to practice that it'll be some of the best play we get in the year. And so I think this year, it is my first like year of the games since London. So because I was pregnant after Rio and then pregnant after Tokyo. So this is really my first year of the quad in a long time. So to be able to like have that development, be able to take the time to really get to just work on all the like ins and outs of the game has been really special, and it's been a while since we've gotten to do that. So yeah.
And we've talked a little bit about the kids, but are you getting them involved in sports at all, in volleyball?
Yeah, Kai, he's so fun because he is really just like open to anything. Like my husband likes to skateboard, so he's skateboarding. He's playing volleyball. He's playing basketball because my older son is. So yeah, Duke is 8 and he's playing basketball. volleyball. So it's really fun to like get them involved in sports. But then as a parent, you're having to like figure out what are my values as an athlete?
Right.
Like, how do I want to teach it to him? And so I think those conversations with him and I honestly are making me even a better athlete of like reminding myself, what do I value? How do I like want to raise him in the sport? And so it's been great.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
You mentioned being back with the team in this first year of the quad. What is that like? What is the vibe like of the team right now in that first year?
Honestly, it is so fun. Like, it is great to be able to just take a moment to learn, develop, and have fun. So for our team, it's like we have been a part of this for so long where we really are kind of experts in the sport, but being able to learn like a student again and just to learn how are we going to sit? How are we going to pass? What's this quad going to look like? It's kind of like a dreaming time of what do we want this one to be? And so it's honestly been really fun. And I think some of our younger athletes and newer athletes are really getting involved, and to have so much success in Indiana, even with some of the like initial starters out, like it is just so good to see the development of the team. It just makes me excited for the future.
I feel like it has to be like that first day back at school after the summer break
Yeah.
kind of feeling, you know,
It's
like you just see all your
absolutely.
friends again.
Yeah, it's so fun. And I think the gym is just electric because everyone is just ready to learn and have a good time. And I think we are so used to like such high expectation. So to be able to just take a moment and like reset the baseline of what do we value as a team? Do we want to enjoy this and not just like strive to be who we are, but like how do we just take a moment to enjoy? And so I think that's really where we're starting out the quad, which is such a good spot. And we can only build on top of that. So
You mentioned Indiana, and we got to host a
Yeah.
massive international tournament for sitting volleyball, sitting World Cup
Yeah.
in Indiana. How cool was that to see?
No, it's awesome. And just to see everyone so excited about it and to really have everyone here, I think it's just like looking towards LA. I'm so excited that that's going to happen more often, and to really be able to show everyone in the U.S. sitting volleyball and continue to grow the sport in that way. And I think especially having tournaments here, we're getting to show just different pools of athletes and people sitting volleyball to really hope continue to grow the sport. And we grow the sport by people hearing and people learning and then going back home and talking about it. So
We mentioned that we haven't really talked to you on the podcast since Tokyo.
Yeah.
But of course, won gold medal in Rio before that.
Yep.
Gold in Tokyo. I'm actually wearing the three-time back-to-back
Look at
gold
that
shirt here for the women's sitting team. But and I imagine each experience is special in its own way. But
Absolutely.
talking about Paris a little bit, how special was Paris to you?
Oh, it was each games, there's so many like trials you go through. You kind of expect opposition. You expect there to be things. And there was a lot of that in Paris, but I think the special moments of like having your family there again just made all of that so worth it. To have like my husband in the stands, my mom, my sister, my kids, and to really get to experience the games again with them there. And then to like bring out another gold. And I just, my favorite moment was whenever after we won, we celebrated as a team, and then I ran up to the stands to see like my husband and my kids, and my son was just crying, and he was like, I'm so proud of you, Mom. Like it just, like that's one of them, like that's what you do it for, is to hope to inspire your kids and your family. And it was so special.
Made me tear up a little bit there just thinking about that, because Duke had never seen you at that stage, right?
Yeah,
the Paralympic stage.
He watched in Tokyo, but he was at home, and
At
he was
home,
3, and he was like, what is happening? Like,
Right.
yeah.
But now he was old enough to kind of understand a little bit of what that means too.
And I've
So
tried
cool.
to do my best to bring them along the journey. Like Duke, it's been years that he's been coming with me to the Sundays of our camps. So he'll come into the gym, and I try to get him to participate some, or just to get him in the world, because I think part of it is like, this is a sacrifice for your family, not just for you. The family sacrifices way more than you do.
Sure.
And so my hope is that they get to come along the journey with me. Like my husband's here today. And so I just want them to be a part of it. And so I think he had seen that, he had helped me train, and then he got to see the big moment. So
cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
How difficult is the process? I mean, can you describe it for our audience of just, you know, you don't just show up and win back-to-back gold medals. I mean, you've got to go through some grueling training days. You've got to be ready to go throughout that entire quad. You know, can you describe that process?
Yeah, I think it's funny because the games stage is just the show of everything you did before that, every touch. So the strain of before the games is like you are in practice pretty much every day. You are in training camps. You're working hard with your team. You're developing just your mentality of what you're going to go into. So all the prep beforehand is really what it comes down to. That's the stage you're setting to then go and show all the prep that you've done. And I think, especially as an athlete, you're trying to balance like having a life and living your life while also training. And so I think those things really like don't always coincide. They kind of clash sometimes, but being able to prioritize your training, especially leading up to the game. So for people who don't know, we usually get to like in Paris. We got to Paris about like 3 weeks before we ever started to play, and 2.5 probably. Yeah. So we go to a training facility, and we are in the training facility for about a week, and we are only training. We're only like with the team, and then sometimes you get to go out and about, and then you go into the village for about a week before you start to play. So it's just a lot of preparation even in Paris, and time away from your family, time together, really trying to set the stage for what you're about to do. And then you go into the tournament.
Right. Yeah. Do you have a fun or favorite memory that you look back on from your Paris experience? Maybe it's on the court, maybe it's off the court with your family.
Yeah. One of my favorite moments before the tournament started, we went to the Eiffel Tower, and the team went together, and we went up to the Eiffel Tower together for the first time. Yeah. And then we went to the Arc de Triomphe, which is where they had the Agitos. And so we were all up there together, and it was the sun was starting to set, and then you could see the Eiffel Tower from it, and it just started to sparkle, and we were just all in that moment together. And I think for us, it was special to be able to just enjoy a moment that we'll remember forever before we go into the games. It just felt like a breath of fresh air before we really like dug our heels in, and we're finishing our preparation, but that I'll remember. Yeah.
Severin knows that Eiffel Tower sparkle really well.
It's the background of my lock screen for so long. I mean, I remember being there for the opening ceremony when it turned blue and the light show and everything. I just switched it because it was getting depressing because I was like, I miss it so much. It was so great. But my seat was for I was the press officer for the beach team, and so the office was literally just being at that beach court right under the lights every day. And
that's
I was like,
amazing.
I told him he just needed to set up a cot or something.
Yeah. Getting to see it, the beach courts from above, like at the Eiffel Tower, that was amazing. I can only imagine what that would have been like.
So were you up there for like the bird's eye view during any of the matches?
No, not during the matches. No, it was after. Well, whenever we went up, you could just see the courts down there, and it was really cool. Yeah.
It's gonna be hard to outdo that. Scenic background for any like sports competition.
Yeah.
So LA's got their hands full for that one, I think. But talking about your team right now, and obviously early in the quad here, but there's let's talk about like just the new atmosphere. We talked about the newer athletes kind of coming up the pipeline. We've got a couple, and some of those newer athletes are returners as well from past Paralympic teams, Kendra Hall and Carrie Miller. Just talk a little bit about the dynamic and the culture of the team right now.
Yeah, I think it's so good because everyone has so much knowledge in sitting volleyball. Even the younger people coming in and the newer players who are here, it just continues to deepen the team, grow the team. So we have people who retired and came back like Carrie and Kendra, and just to have their experience on the court, but also their heart. And I think that's one thing our team really has is not just the love for volleyball, but the love for sitting volleyball and love for each other. And I think that's one of the things that makes our team so special. And so to have Kendra, who was my first captain, and be here, and especially since becoming captain, getting to have her here on this journey with me is honestly I was not expecting it at all. So to have her here is amazing, and same with Carrie. So I just think our team is continuing to grow as people and athletes, and it just has honestly been awesome. So getting everyone involved and really getting to, I mean, even at practice 6-on-6, it's a time. Yeah. It's so fun.
I bet it's so competitive too.
It is. And to be able to have that is really so special. And I know not every team gets that, and so I just feel so lucky every time we're in the gym.
How beneficial it is to have some of those veterans like Carrie and Kendra come in, especially for these younger athletes who probably didn't even watch them at the Paralympics or
Yeah.
were able to watch them at the Paralympics, but to hear their stories and hear you talk to them about, some of the similar stories as well.
Yeah, I think to have their experience, not just on the court, but off the court and in team meetings, like their perspective is so valuable of how do you last in sitting volleyball so long? Like how are you a good teammate? Honestly, those two are some of the best teammates. And so to be able to learn from them across the board, whether you're newer to the sport or whether you've also, like me, been here a while, like it's just so good to have the vast different perspectives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kaleo, the two-part question for you, but, in addition to the physical weight around your neck now with those gold medals, how much pressure are you feeling to, do it again in this next quad? And the second part of that question is, how did you manage that pressure and those expectations going into Paris, obviously, with the same goal in mind of getting, another back-to-back gold medal?
Yeah. I think for me, at least, my perspective with it is like how awesome is it that there's expectation? Like how cool is it that the sport I love expects a lot out of me? And I think going into it, I want to rise to the occasion. And I don't think that ever stops. It's like the occasion just continues to present itself. Like how do we continue to rise to the occasion and to really meet that expectation? But it's funny too, because everyone has this expectation on us of winning. But like I've always had that on myself. Like I've always had that on our team because I know we can do it. And so really for us, we are preparing for the moments that we get to then show up. So the other piece to your question, I'm now forgetting.
Just, how you basically answered it, how you were managing those expectations. And I love your answer of how amazing is it that we have expectations. I think that's so great. I feel like everybody deals with it differently, but that to me is an example of such a high-level athlete that doesn't view that as pressure. They view it as an opportunity, it sounds like. Yeah,
because I think it really is. Those opportunities always present themselves, whether you're working or you're in a practice or you're at the games. Like, can you rise to the occasion that you're in? Can you show up your best self and give it all you've got? And that's really, in my opinion, leading up to Paris, like that's really what it is like, yes, everyone has the expectation of a three-peat. Of course they do. And so now is our training actually lining up to the expectation that we are setting for ourselves? And it's funny because even like coming off the court right after we won, one of the first questions is like, so LA? And it's like, that's always the question, which is great. Like I love that people are expecting that from us again, because to me, it's like they have faith in us. They believe that we can do it. And something that I loved from Texas A&M is they're saying like, why not us? And I'm like, that perspective is so good, because even like a four-peat, like that seems kind of crazy, but also like, why not? And I just think being able to have that perspective of like, why shouldn't it? Why couldn't we? And being able to just kind of rise to that moment is really special.
We talked a little bit earlier about Indiana and just the exposure the sport is getting and how exciting that is for LA coming up.
Yeah.
But, and you've been on the team since 2009, is that correct?
Yeah, like,
around then?
Yeah.
How has the perception of sitting volleyball and adaptive sports as a whole kind of changed or evolved and since you started?
Yeah, it's honestly just continuing to grow. Like that's the hope. That's what we want, is not just for the growth to look at us play sitting volleyball. It's really the growth of, hey, if you have a disability, there is a place for you. Like you can be the elite athlete you are and continue to grow this sport. And so to be able to get the views and people to come watch, like like the hope is that more people get to see it so that we get more people involved. And just the eyes on the game is so important, because if you can see it, then you can feel like you can do it. Like if you can see someone else who looks like you, has the same disability as you, you can really start to dream and believe the same things. So I think it's been awesome, and I'm excited for LA, and to have that here, it just is going to be amazing.
For anyone who hasn't watched the Paralympic Games, or maybe in the LA area who might want to come out and check it out, give us your pitch of like, why should they come watch sitting volleyball or really any adaptive sport?
Yeah, I mean, adaptive sports are for everyone. I don't think there's anyone that adaptive sports aren't for. You can watch, you can grow, you can learn. And something I love about the Paralympics is everyone has faced opposition and things they've had to overcome before they ever step onto their play of field. And so then to go out there and be the elite athlete you are, each person has their own story, their own journey, and then getting to see them excel in how and see the sports and adaptive sports. So especially with volleyball, like one of my favorite things is explaining it as, yes, you have standing indoor volleyball, then you have beach volleyball, and then you have sitting volleyball. They're the same sport in different disciplines, and they are played in different ways. They are still the sport you know and love. And so I think with every sport that is played at the Paralympics, it has those elements. Like if the perspective can be, this is a different discipline of the sport I know and love, I think you'll have so much appreciation for the sport that each person is playing. And so for us, I'm like, I want you to come see our team. You will love it. I promise you. The speed, the athleticism, like I love our sport.
I think one of the cool things I've, in my years with USA Volleyball is anytime you're at a qualifier, the sitting team's at a qualifier doing an exhibition match, you have your autograph signings after that, but then a lot of times you'll take some of those people that are coming to talk to you and go sit down and play and show them the sport, and I think that's a lot of fun. One of my favorite memories was, I think it was Orlando, and the men's indoor team was there doing a competition as well, and then you guys did a little exhibition match against each other, and I see Eric Soji every now and then, and he always talks about that moment and how fun it was, and I keep trying to get Eric to come out to an adult national so we can play in the sitting division. But
that'd be so fun.
I think any opportunity you can, even if you're not in an event that the team is at, but lower the net, sit down and play, or use anything as a net, really. And
it can really only make you better. And I think even, I saw a video recently of like some guys playing volleyball in the airport, and they just put up. I was going to
bring up that video too.
They just put up their suitcases. I'm like, absolutely.
So fun.
And it's so fun because too, you're focusing on your touches. Like you're taking your legs out of the game, even for like standing athletes. Like you're taking your legs out of the game. You're focusing on your platform. Like it just is so beneficial, whether you have a disability or not. Like you will love sitting volleyball.
I think it's, at least for me, when I first tried it, it was the speed of the game that really like just blew me away, and how fast it is, which totally makes sense once you play, but then you're just hooked right away. It's so much fun.
It's so fun. And like you can, I was telling someone yesterday, I was like, you can block a serve, and that just like blows people's minds. But it is so fun.
They light up a little bit, like,
actually
I want to
really?
do that.
Yeah.
It's a little similar to Steven's question, but just I'm curious if you have any favorite memories or memories that stand out in your mind at all from connecting with any fans at any point throughout your travels, whether it be on the biggest stage or even somewhere like here at AVCA.
Yeah, that's great. I think anytime, like really for me, anytime I've gotten to connect with kids and be like, we saw you up there, but also one of my favorite like moments is getting to connect with people who either are playing standing volleyball. There was a girl recently, and she doesn't have an arm. She doesn't have one of her arms, or she's like above the elbow, and she's been playing standing, and like seeing videos of her, like, come connect with the team, like you should be a part of the team. So just those moments of getting to connect with even people online, and then getting them into the gym and come play with us, like we want. And so those moments are really some of the most special, of having people come meet us and get to know us, and then come be a part of the team.
I think that's, just like you said, social media, I think, has just been a big proponent of this, getting the sport out there, but also for the team to kind of see other athletes out there who might have a disability, who are playing standing, who have no idea what sitting is, and then you can connect online and talk to them about it, and introduce them, invite them to camps and everything.
Because
really cool.
I think for all of us, it's like we had someone connecting with us that brought us, and so I think the more we can do that for the team to come is, and we talked about that depth, is like it only grows the team, and it's exciting.
You touched a little bit on it, but LA 2028. What are the goals for the team? Obviously, gold, I think, is probably the top of mind, but maybe any like little small goals to kind of lead up to that moment.
I think for us, really getting middles more involved. Like that is a goal of mine. Is I want to get the middles more involved. I want us to be, something Bill always says, is be consistently good. And so I think there's still a lot of growth for us in that. part of it is serving, aggressive serving, off-speed serving. Like those are really key pieces, I think, to our game moving forward. Another thing for me is blocking. Not my strongest quality, but I think there's always growth for us. So I think for our team, it's a lot of that and being comfortable in different lineups. Because if you kind of look at games past, we have a lot of the same lineups in those big matches. So I think one thing that we're continuing to develop is because we have that depth on our team,
right,
how do we continue to be comfortable no matter who we're on the court with? And so I think that's really a piece of development for our team.
Yeah.
Do you have little goals that you want to hit in each year of the quad, or I guess I'll rephrase it. Do you, with your past experience, do you know where the team should be roughly at each year of the quad based on your past success?
Yeah, we like to talk about it as we want to hit the peak. So like our goal is to hit the peak at the games, but there are still so many points of that we want to kind of hit a goal going into it. So one of the kind of mile markers is World Championships, which is this summer, and that's in China. So that's another mile marker for us. We've actually never won that tournament. So that's a big one for us, is we really want to prepare ourselves well to go into that tournament ready. Not that we haven't been in the past, but I think that's just a goal for us this time, is like we want to be ready, we want to be prepared, we want to go into it and give it our best, because that is like, we don't want to peak then, but we want to have those peaks even in the seasons while we're getting to the big peak. So we like want to have those kind of like big markers and being able to hit them. So for us, that's one of the big ones. And then you kind of see, like, developmentally. So in the first year of the quad is really a time to dream up new things. What do we want to work on? What do we want to develop? Can we try something new? What does that look like? So that first year is that for us. Then the second year is really how do we kind of hone in on those things we just kind of brought up and started working on. And so that's kind of where we're going into now, of we've kind of started these new things for our team. And so how do we kind of capitalize on those in the next year? And then after that year, then we're like fine tuning for the next two.
If I can ask you to put your analyst cap on, looking ahead to World Championships, who are some of the teams that might present the toughest challenge?
Yeah, I think China is always one of the big ones. And then really Brazil they're just keep getting better and better. And so I think they're doing a great job. I'm excited to play them. And I think those two teams are really the ones that give us really the most run for our money. And there are so many teams developing, like even Canada has continually gotten better, and they challenge us in different ways. They have two really good setters. And so every team kind of changes a little bit, especially in the first year of a quad. So I'm excited to kind of see everyone and what each team looks like in World Championships. But those are the ones I'm expecting, yeah.
Talking a little bit about the team goals and everything that you're working on, and you touched on your personal a little bit, but you've been involved with the team for so long. You've got the medals to show it. How do you approach improving as a setter?
Yeah.
And each quad.
Yeah, for me, like in this quad, it's really been just getting back to the basics, like basics of setting, basics of connecting with my teammates. And I think that's one piece, at least for me. I think I am the setter I am because I know the hitters, I know my teammates, and I know when they do their best and when are they struggling on the court in one way. How can I help give them confidence and boost their confidence? How can I feed them when they're hot, and how do I give them a moment, and how do we spread out the offense? So I think for me, it's really honing into those types of interpersonal skills and being able to know my teammates well. So the more time you get with everyone is really how that develops. But I think for me, that's a big thing.
What are some of your favorite off-court activities to kind of get to know your teammates?
We love to sing. We love to dance. We have some of us. We have a Swifties group chat, and we went and saw the Taylor Swift whenever she released her album. We went and saw the movie together.
Oh, amazing.
So really, just getting to know everyone off the court. And I think anytime we like to play games, we do kind of costume parties, like just stuff like that is so fun.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Nice.
Favorite Taylor Swift song?
Ooh, that's good. The Life of a Showgirl right now is just like it's just so fun. So It's funny because going into Indiana, the camp before is whenever the album released. And so we listened to the album together, a lot of us together, and then we went to the movie. But they were sending me which songs were their songs for each game, and it was so fun. So
it's fun.
Yeah.
Fun to like stay connected that way too.
Yeah, especially when I wasn't there.
Right.
So yeah.
A little bit more of a serious question, but
Yeah.
it was kind of based off of Steven's last question. It's just, I mean, he mentioned you've been involved with the team since 2009, and it's been so cool to listen to how just passionate you still are about the game. You played at the highest level. You're just talking about, being with your teammates. Mm-hmm. I understand that playing a sport like this at that high of a level cannot be easy, but what keeps you coming back and motivated to play? I mean, you even are talking about, I got to work on this, I got to work on that. I mean, you're one of the best that the sport has, and you're still so motivated to play it. Tell us what keeps you motivated.
Yeah, it really is. My happy place is being on the court with my team. Like it makes me emotional, even seeing like last night them running on the court to like A&M in Kentucky. When you run on the court and you have that moment together, like that is the fuel in me. Like I love those moments, getting to really enjoy that time with the team. I love the feeling of setting my hitters, like setting them up for success, getting those kills. Like those are the fuel in me. I love this game so much, and it continues to make me excited for what the future is, and to want to stay, because it is like even in Paris, like those tournaments are hard, they are long, they are like very long marathons, but I think what drives us is just the joy of doing. And I think for me personally, I'm like, the joy of being on the court with my team is really what continues to like be that driver for me. I love our team. I love this sport. It has given me so much personally that I want to continue to give to it. So
we've talked a little bit about the depth of this team, and a lot of that comes from the sitting national team development program as well, which that team won a gold over this past year, just a few months ago. But how cool was that to watch? Were you communicating at all with the with those
absolutely
girls?
Yes, so good. And our team, we like some of the girls on the team, we were able to have them at camps and help at their camps. That was so fun, because the national team will go into the training camps, the development training camps, and just be there to support in whatever way we can. And so to see them get the gold, and they're just so lovely. I'm like, those girls are honestly, they make me so excited for what the team is going to continue to look like. Like it's in good hands. And so I think for them, they really just went in kind of thrown into a 4-on-4 situation, which is just or a threes, but it just is crazy. And so to see them again, like rise to that occasion and just be their best selves, and they're fun, and they're fun to have around. They really like keep us spry. Like they're so fun to have.
And if I remember right, they beat Brazil, a really established program as well, and just it was really fun. I was covering the match just from Colorado and writing the recaps, but it was just fun to watch them play and just see how much joy they had too, and how much fun they were having. They kept cutting to the parents in the stands too, which is like really cute. But it was
even
fun.
I think even too, like having them apart, so they came to our camps, and they came to a couple of our camps, and to have them there, and like we went swimming together, like just getting them to be involved with the team, I think really helps continue the team and the growth, and just they did such a good job, and so I'm so proud of them. They are little firecrackers, and it's going to be amazing to watch them continue to grow.
For sure,
I believe that later today, if I have this right, you're meeting with our NTDP girls indoor training series. What kind of wisdom are you going to give to them?
Like going into it, I mean, I think it's going to be more of like a Q&A, so I'm interested of like what they want to know too. But I think for me, and being a young athlete and wanting and having the expectation, I think part of it will be just to encourage them to like be themselves. We grow up and we want to play like I looked up to Lindsey Burke. Like she was the setter that I wanted to be like, and I think I came into my own when I was comfortable playing like myself. And so I think for them, my encouragement will be like, you want to be like the Titans, but you are your own Titan as you are, and it's just developing yourself and who you are. So listening to the coaches, but also being okay with being yourself is really important.
When did you find that? What kind of rough stage in your volleyball journey were you where you found, okay, now I know I'm really comfortable with playing like myself?
Yeah, I think honestly my transition from standing volleyball into sitting, because playing standing volleyball, I was always trying to trying to block like everyone else. Like I found my own kind of ways to do it. But whenever I came into sitting, I really got to hone in on, okay, well, now that my vertical or my jump or my leg isn't a problem for anyone, I get to really play like myself. And so that really helped me. And then I think after London, we lost the gold medal match, and my coach very graciously put me in. That was crazy. But being in that match and then losing really got me, like, who do I want to be? What is the player that I want to be? Who do I want to be for my team? And so really those big moments help readjust you and recenter and kind of give you that opportunity to figure out who you want to be.
You just mentioned your coach, Bill Hammeter, actually just announced that he is going to get the Fryer Award, USA Volleyball's highest honor at next year's Hall of Fame banquet. But any words about Bill and just, receiving that honor? Yeah,
I mean, in my opinion, there is no one more qualified, deserving. He has been an incredible coach. And it's funny because we were congratulating him and he was like, it wouldn't be possible without you guys. I'm like, we wouldn't be possible without you. Like he continues to develop. And I think even like looking back on my journey, he saw so much potential in like it's going to make me emotional, in like a little 12-year-old who was just like excited to play volleyball. And I think he does that for so many athletes, and how far he has brought this program is insane. And I think he deserves all the recognition, all the rewards, or all the awards, because he really has done that, and he's been such a good coach. And like you're saying, like how do you continue to stay like in it? How do you continue to stay motivated after so long? And I think we really learned that from him. Like he has such a high expectation for our team, but is not afraid to do the hard work, and I really love that about him. So congratulations, Bill.
Yeah, congratulations, Bill. And it was fun I wasn't in Indiana, but Curtis was, and it was fun to see Bill like dancing with the team and just having fun. And you could just see how much joy he has with this program, and I know it means so much to him as well.
It really does. And we all feel that. We know how much he cares. We know how much he cares about us individually and our team, and yeah.
Kaleo, to shift gears just a little bit, you're here at AVCA with Mizuno. You're partnered with Mizuno, as are we. We love them. But tell us about that partnership.
Yeah, it's honestly been great. And I think so it's on the Mizuno team is me, Bethany, and Nikki. They just brought Nikki on board. Yeah. And to have 3 sitting players on the Mizuno team is just so important, because growing up, I wore Mizuno. Like I had the knee pads, I had the shoes, like that is what I wore growing up. And so it kind of feels full circle to be partnered with Mizuno now, and getting to honestly like be there and be seen by younger girls and the next generation of athletes. Like that is just so important to me. So to be able to do that with Mizuno and to feel like this full circle moment of like little Kaleo would love this, and it's been great.
There's a billboard now in Edmond as well. Like how cool is that? Would you ever imagine that happening at all?
No, and I think it's just it just shows how the sport is growing. I mean, volleyball in general is just booming, but I think sitting in volleyball is continuing to grow, and what I love is the investment into it, and getting to see the billboard and people messaging me or people saying on TikTok like, oh, I saw that, I didn't quite know what it was, and now I see you on TikTok. Like it just is so important, I think, not just for volleyball in general, but the program and the sitting program and being in Edmond and just getting to have that there and people know we're there is exciting.
Yeah. And obviously Mizuno brought you out here to the convention, but what I guess what's your role specifically just here at the convention with Mizuno?
Yeah, my role honestly here is just to continue to show sitting volleyball. Like that's why I'm here. That's what I want to continue to do. So it's been exciting. Today I get to play with Puppies, so I'm very excited about that.
How do we get this job?
Yeah, like I want to play with the Puppies.
I might have to sneak in there for a little bit.
Yeah, it's so fun. So honestly, getting to come to the games and just like those types of environments in like the sold out arena or stadium just continue to get me excited. Like I am ready to play. I'm like, we still have a couple weeks till we actually get back on the court, but it makes me excited to play and to see all the coaches investing in themselves and their teams. It's so important. So I love that everyone's here and that I get to be here too.
Yeah, you mentioned the games just there, and this episode will go out a little bit later after the matches, after the championship ends, but I guess for you, impressions of last night's matches, the semifinal matches, and then do you watch the game a little? I imagine you watch the game a little bit differently as a volleyball player at your level.
It's funny because one of my favorite things is just kind of, what would I do? So watching the setters, watching their sets, so watching their choices, that's kind of how I play, of being able to watch and be like, what would my choice be? So that's always fun. But it kind of takes you out of it every once in a while, so I have to remember I'm watching someone else. But my impressions of it are, like, I loved Kentucky's fight. I think every team can attest to getting kind of into a game and sort of having a hard time at first, and then being able to really settle in and then play confidently as the game goes on. Our team does that all the time, so I really loved seeing that from them. And then for A&M, like that, them beating Nebraska was awesome, and being able to it honestly reminded me of whenever we played China. Right. It was like this titan, and like, how could we ever? And then really putting that training into practice and being consistently good and really sitting into our training and beating China. And that's kind of what it felt like to me for them. And so I'm really rooting them on. I'm rooting Kentucky on. I think it'll be a fun final.
Right. To play off that what would I do kind of mentality while watching, and we're obviously speaking to you after the semifinals, but what would you do? What would you be thinking after going down 25-12 or whatever the score was in that first set? How would you come back from that? Yeah,
I think a lot of it is like, okay, well, oops. Like, you just kind of got to let it go, because that one, I think a lot of it is being where you are. Like, we're in the second set, we're going to start over. Like, that's one of the greatest things about volleyball. Yes, it's about momentum, but then you get fresh starts. It's like you don't have to actually bring anything from the first set into the second. And so it really felt like they reset. And so a lot of times our team has a problem sometimes with really having a hard time in that first set. So I understand it completely, and what we do is, like, we just have to, you got to let it go. I'm like, there's nothing you can do. The only thing you can do is maybe evaluate, make changes sooner. But something we have really settled into on our team is, if something's not going right twice, we change it. And so I think, again, having that adaptability and being able to change in the middle of a game is so important. So that's what we would be looking at. One, we'd go into the second set of like, woof, okay, we get to start over. And then in the second set, really just being like, okay, what changes do we want to make going into it so that we can adapt to the game? And I think that's one of my favorite things about our team is we are adaptable, and we continue to show that.
I think if either my coach or my captain at the end of a set or at the end in a timeout said either, well, whoops or woof, I would immediately be ready to turn it around. That's the best.
Yeah. That's a good resetter, I feel.
It is. It's just like, well, because we're all feeling it. Yep. So it is what it is.
It's in the past. Let's move on, right?
Yeah.
Any, I know this is going to go out later, but just for us talking right now in the moment, any predictions for the final? Who do you think, or who do you want to win? I
honestly, with both of how they've been fighting, I'm like, it's really anyone's game. I'm like, I don't quite have any stakes. I'm like, I like what I see. I think it's just good volleyball, and that you see that like fighting spirit in both of the teams, and I think it's going to be just a great final. To me, I'm like, I hope it goes to 5. I hope they fight neck and neck the whole time. Like, that's just good volleyball. Yeah. So, yeah.
For sure. Well, I mean, we've been catching up a lot. And it's been great to catch up with you. Yeah. I mean, it's been, I think it was just our first, like one of our first episodes that, right when we started the podcast.
Yeah, which is crazy. And I'm like, I see you guys all the time. So
we talk all the time.
Yeah.
We see each other all the time, but we just haven't had you on this platform in a while, so it's been so nice to have you. So thank you so much.
We hold you to a higher standard. We're like, 2 more gold medals, then maybe.
Yeah. Then maybe we'll have her back on. I'm down for that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. We'll definitely have to have you back on before LA, just to catch up and see how the team is doing and preparing. But I guess as we wrap up here, any last words or messages that you want to kind of send out there before we let you go?
Where can people find your TikToks too?
Yes. At Kaleo Maclay. Also follow our team and follow Mizuno. I think you'll be seeing a lot. And so I'm excited for especially what this next year holds. We're at World Championships. There's actually going to be another tournament in the U.S. So just keep an eye out. There's more coming around in the U.S., so I'm excited for everyone to see it. If you haven't watched Sitting Volleyball, go look us up on YouTube or follow us on Instagram. It's going to be a good year.
Yeah, Instagram at USAVWSNT.
Yep,
so,
just updated.
Just updated, yes. It looks nice. But Kaleo, thank you so much. This has been great, and we'll have to try to find the puppies in you later.
As you should. We will be snuggling.
That's right. All right, thank you so much,
Thank
Kaleo.
you so much.
thank you again to Kaleo for taking the time to chat with us on the podcast. Great to have you back on the podcast because I think we were talking during our conversation that it was one of the very first episodes that we had you on the podcast. So thankful to bring you back on and just catch up on everything that has been since then, because I think 2 Paralympic Games had gone by since we had you last on with Tokyo and Paris. So and family had happened too. So that was for me personally, that was fun to get to catch up with Kaleo before and after recording, just to talk about our families and catch up about that, talk about the kiddos and life. And then specifically shout out to her husband, Matthew. We talked afterwards about anime as well and kind of our collections that we've been building in video games. And I know he's a big card collector with his son, Duke, as well. But it was just fun to kind of nerd out a little bit with him too. So thank you, Matthew, for doing that. But Kaleo, thank you again for sitting down to chat. Hope everyone, all the listeners here, enjoyed the conversation. Kaleo had an incredibly busy weekend at the AVCA convention. And one of the cool things that I got to tag along with as well while she was representing USA Volleyball and Mizuno was she chatted with took time to chat with the NTDP Winter Training Series group that was there, to share her advice and wisdom that she's kind of collected through her career. The athletes and even the coaching staff were like super engaged, asking questions, and Kaleo gave such great answers too. And it was like, I don't know, over half an hour. So a good chunk of her time to chat with those athletes. And even afterwards, some came up to chat with her one-on-one. So that was really cool to see. And one of the fun moments was she passed around her 4 medals too. She brought them with her to the convention. And it was cool to see the athletes kind of shocked at how heavy they were and just the intricate details in each medal as well. So that was fun. Again, thank you, Kaleo, for taking the time to chat, and hopefully we'll see you again soon down the road. But before we get into the wrap up here, one more shout out to one of Kaleo's former teammates with the U.S. Women's Sitting National Team. 4-time Paralympic medalist Nicole Millage-Fost has been named to the class of 2026 all-time great athletes and will be inducted into the USA Volleyball Hall of Fame at the ceremony during the Dorothy C. Boyce Banquet on May 20th in Orlando, Florida. Congratulations, Nicole. I'm looking forward to seeing you there and catching up with you because it's been a while since we've got to talk, but well-deserved with everything you have accomplished in your career, including just building that program and establishing that program and leaving your legacy behind there. Truly well-deserved, and congratulations to you. But more info on the other honorees and the ceremony details can be found on our website at usavolleyball.org. Wrapping things up, thank you to everyone who listened to today's episode and continues to support this podcast. If you haven't already, subscribe wherever you get your podcast and share it with your friends and family. But until next time, this has been another episode of the USA Volleyball Show, the official podcast of USA Volleyball.
This has been the USA Volleyball Show with Stephen Munson. Produced by Curtis Ward. Our content producer is Laura Fawcett. Our marketing lead is Bree Jaycox. If you enjoyed this podcast, be sure to rate, review, and share with your friends. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the USA Volleyball Show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to or watch your podcasts.